Knowing the signs of a condition called Marfan Syndrome can save lives.
It sure can. That's why a family from Spring is helping spread the word, because an early diagnosis has really helped their beloved daughter.
Callie is a typical 9-year-old in many ways. She loves golf, fishing, and playing fetch with her dog. You can even find her stirring up a sweet, sticky mess with her parents. They were incredibly proud of her.
So she has just like this really funny, goofy personality that just makes you laugh. And I mean, she's like the wittiest, like quickest little kid I've ever come across.
Callie has never let a diagnosis of Marfan syndrome slow her down.
Marfan syndrome is a genetic condition that affects multiple systems in a person's body. And when I say it's genetic, it means it's due to alterations in the DNA. And in this case, it's an alteration of just one gene in our human genome called the EPN1 gene. This causes people to grow, they tend to grow very tall with very long arms and legs. They can have problems with their eyes, specifically something called lens dislocation. But the most serious complication is what happens to the cardiovascular system.
Dr. Diana Milowitz is a director of genetics at McGovern Medical School at UT Health. While she's not Callie's doctor, she has helped many families dealing with Marfan. She and the Efords want everyone to know the symptoms aren't always obvious. There were a few signs when Callie was younger, but not heart-related.
She was constantly like running into people, and I just, in hindsight, those are some of the things that like now I know, but at the time I was like, gosh, Callie, you're not paying attention. Like you're running into people, and just never thought that vision would be, an issue.
She had other subtle signs like holding books or her iPad really close as though it was hard to see. And then a few other less obvious ones like being in the top percentile for height but lower for weight. Then her parents finally pieced it all together with a team of doctors when she was 4 years old. Their pediatrician referred them to an eye specialist. That doctor suspected it was a cardiologist they needed to see.
It was crazy. Because neither of us have even gone to a cardiologist before, and we're having to take our 4-year-old daughter to one.
I think I was like in another world for the next few days until we finally got into the cardiologist. And then we had to actually get in touch with a geneticist, which I learned that there's not very many geneticists in the world.
They found out one of their biggest goals would be to protect Callie's heart due to her condition.
And in people with Marfan syndrome, that very beginning part of the aorta, right near the heart, is weak. And over time, it enlarges, and that's called an aneurysm. And if we don't diagnose the condition and monitor that aneurysm and treat it properly, then it can lead to something called an acute aortic dissection.
Dr. Milowitz says that can cause sudden death. So Callie will be closely monitored for years to come and will have a preventative surgery long before damage can occur.
We can prevent the aortic dissections and those associated sudden deaths and problems if we know who has it, monitor the aorta, treat the patient with some minor drugs to prevent the growth of the aorta or enlargement of the aorta. But ultimately, we need to go in and actually repair the aorta and take out that disease segment and actually just put in a man-made material called an aortic graft.
Most can wait until adulthood for that surgery. For now, Callie can just enjoy being a kid.
My favorite subject is math, and I'm basically in 5th grade because I'm no longer in 4th grade. And my favorite thing to do is eat lunch, play video games, and stay up late.
The Efords have relied on the Marfan Foundation as a major resource through all of this, for everyone from experts to those who know and understand what they're going through.
In the case of Callie, with kids her age, like being able to connect with other kids their age, of just kind of, it's always nice to kind of know that you have someone else that's out there that has similar traits or facing similar situations as you. And that, I think that helps any child.
It sure is helping Callie, and she's thriving in her loving, caring environment.
And a big way to go to Callie and her family for being so open and trying to get the word out, because again, longevity and quality of life comes from that early diagnosis.
Right. Is there day-to-day treatment with her, or?
She is on a medication that really helps keep her stable, and then she may be 30 or 40 before she has to undergo that surgery. So it should hopefully give her a completely normal life.
Sweet family. Thanks, Melissa.